Hello everyone, welcome back once again to episode 4 this time. I know we're on 4. If you haven't seen 3, 2, or 1, I don't know why you're here yet. Go start with 1. What are you doing? Episode 4 of our super simple 2025 Starter Champ series. We already talked about Kale, we already talked about War Maiden and the Apothecary as well. Now we're going to be touching on the Reliquary Tender. She's going to be from the High Elves faction, and she's going to be like your tank down, revive, bulky cleanser character for when things get pretty hard and you just don't really know what to do with all of these debuffs and dead characters in your party. The easiest thing for you to do is support the channel by checking out the link in the description below. You're going to get a free legendary champion as well as up to $200 worth of free goodies. And don't forget up to 3 awesome epics as you level up inside of Raid. And be sure to use the code Desert Queen to get access to your new free legendary champion in the form of Tahana Rock. As always, this helps the channel out so much, guys, so be sure to check that description down in the link below and join me in Raid today. So why are you going to pick up the Reliquary Tender? Why do you care? Why is she so strong for new players? Well, she's got cleanses and heals for all of your allies, and she does it quite often. You can even revive with her to win some very tough fights. And honestly, I feel like she's going to be one of the top tier characters, supports in 2025. So the Reliquary Tender is going to be that character, that backup plan, that team saver, the tank for your team, basically in some circumstances. Healing bad status effects, healing over time, reviving your friends and her allies. When the going gets tough, basically she's going to help your team get going. Now, starting with the A1, this is the Warden Staff, and it's going to be a simple source of attack down for you. We like this. Attack down reduces incoming damage. You pair this up with some of the other characters in the series we've talked about, or herself, and you're going to be able to withstand some very high and aggressive plays from your enemies in PvE, as well as maybe even PvP circumstances. A2 here is the Tender's Watch, and this is one of the real reasons why you'd be using this character. Now, Tender's Watch is an I don't want you to do that to me button that you can push. It has a 5-turn cooldown at level 1, but the main thing is it's going to remove all debuffs from all allies and then puts a continuous heal buff on them for 2 turns, which is going to heal them for 15% of their max HP every time they take a turn for the next 2 turns. So basically a delayed 30% heal. The main thing we care about though is removing all of the debuffs here. So if you're in some sort of PvE content or PvP content where the enemies are just giving you a million debuffs, with one move you can say, nope, I'm not dealing with that anymore, and just take them all off your party. Her A3 is Call to Life, and it's going to be able to revive an ally with 30% of their max HP, and then fill the turn meter and push them up a little bit by 30% as well. So where do we use the Reliquary Tender? Where is she good? Now you can do her and use her in the campaign story. I don't think we really need to use her there. She's fine there. If you find an encounter that puts a bunch of debuffs on you, that is where you can use her and be happy about it. But most campaign content you should be able to get through pretty easily with the other 3 characters we talked about previously. For clan bosses, you can cleanse stuns, which is pretty important in those, as well as enemies decreasing your team's attack, so you make sure that you're doing the full amount of damage that your team can indeed do. You can also use her in basically every dungeon and maybe even PvP as well, but really the clan boss as well as the dungeon one really is, well, a consistency increase because of her Call to Life. A couple enemies attack the wrong person too many times, you're not tanky enough quite yet, your healer didn't get there in time, right? The Apothecary to heal somebody back up to full. You can put the Reliquary Tender in there, and if something bad happens when you're just AFK grinding those big dungeons, well, no more wipes, no more fails. You're just going to bring that person back to life and heal them up with your secondary healer, which is why we're really talking about this character 4th, as she's not a primary healer, she's like a cleanser backup support character. but she does fulfill that role of increasing consistency when you're doing difficult content. And well, it's kind of all thanks to Call of Life. Now, what is the role of the Reliquary Tender in your party? She's going to be that fourth character. We already talked about the other three, right? You already have the War Maiden as your enhancer of damage, that sub DPS character. Kale for your main damage dealer, whether it's AoE or single target circumstances. You also have the Apothecary for speed and healing. The Reliquary Tender is there as the fourth person for encounters that are high hitting, where you need the attack down from the Apothecary. You want the cleansing for the negative debuffs that the enemies are throwing out on you, and you want that backup consistency survivability of Call of Life. So you can think of her like a tank of some sort, where she's there to just kind of exist and do some things. And she's got a pivotal role, but it's not like a main role. She's there as like the cherry on top, right, of your party, and she's going to make everything really work well. She's like the grease in the engine. She's not like the engine itself. So she's a fantastic character. Even if it seems like at first glance, she doesn't seem all that powerful. When it comes to skill upgrades for her, well, it's based around what we talked about. Why is she there? The big one to really go for is the A2, the Tender's Watch. Reducing this from a 5-turn cooldown down to a 3-turn cooldown is pretty significant for two reasons. Number one, if you're bringing this character, the Tender, into a fight, it's probably because the enemies just want to bombard you with debuffs. You don't want to sit there and wait for 5 turns to pass so you can use her skill to then cleanse again. Waiting 3 turns is much more reliable in just keeping your team cleansed of every big negative debuff that the enemies can do to you. But in addition to that, it being a 3-turn cooldown means that, well, the 2 turns of continuous heal are there almost 100% of the time. You only have a 1-turn downtime on you getting a free 15% heal across the entirety of your party. And in some circumstances, once you have this leveled up for farming and content, you might be able to use her as your only healer to heal away chip damage that your team takes from like 1 or 2 guys who live in like a campaign mode or something, and actually use her in farming sessions for that campaign. So it's a fantastic skill and should be your number 1 priority. The S3, the Call to Life, this is gonna be -1 turn cooldown. It is good, but remember, she's mainly there as like a backup play. Like something goes wrong, I use this skill. So you could use some books, invest into this one. I think you'll be okay if you just leave it at a 6-turn cooldown instead of a 5-turn cooldown. Anyway, you'll be able to save that resource, use it on some other characters. Don't really worry about it. Use your real life farming energy on farming something else. I think you can get away with not leveling this one up, but you can always go back and level up Call to Life 1 extra time if you really desire it. Her A1 here is going to be pretty decent. So before you have accuracy and build on her, this is going to be pretty low on the priority list here. But once you can fit some accuracy into your build, if you level this up a fair amount, you can take the 25% attack debuff chance all the way up to a 55% attack debuff chance at base level if you choose to maximize this thing all the way out. That's going to be a decision for you to make. I think one of the best things about Reliquary Tender early on, she does have that niche role. You do want to have a cleanser on your account, and you can fulfill that with very little investment if you just go into leveling up and booking up her A2 Tender's Watch skill, and then you can just leave the other ones for the time being at their base level. And then once you have the gear and maybe you use her a little bit more, you need the consistency of the extra turn reduction on Call to Life, the extra percentage procs for attack down, you can go back and work on those there. But I think when you first start out, you can get away with just doing Tender's Watch and you'll be happy there. Now, when we're building the Apothecary Tender, what exactly is it that we're putting on her? Well, it's going to be, you've guessed it, a mix of tank stats as well as speed on top of that. If you wear like a 4-piece speed set and mix that with like a 2-piece of an HP set or a defense set, you're going to be doing the right thing. You're going to get the thumbs up for me, basically. Gloves, you can wear HP percent or defense percent. You just want to be tanky. You want to be survivable. You just want her to be able to take her turns and cleanse and heal the party. She needs to be the last one standing so she can use her 8-3 to revive somebody. You never want her to go down first. We're also going to be wearing chest, HP or defense percent for the same reason. Boots, we're aiming for speed. Get at least 160 speed total, and wearing boots as main stat speed is going to help you get there while also just focusing on tank stats in general. Once you have other stats, whether it's substats as well or just other pieces of gear slots, get some accuracy. Once you're ready to work on getting that attack percent break, a more occurring debuff for you, fit some attack accuracy into your team, land that attack down, aim for about 150 or so accuracy for those bosses in a lot of circumstances, and it'll be pretty good for you there. So in essence, speed, health percent, defense percent, and then eventually a little bit of accuracy, and your Reliquary Tender is going to help you out in a big way. And now you have everything you need to know about the Reliquary Tender, your wipe preventer, your hard content sort of sustainer in a way. She's reducing that RNG of bad runs. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, leave them down in the description below. Make sure you check out my link down there to help me out. And then come back for episode 5, where we're going to be talking about someone you've probably been waiting for to unlock for free for a while now, which is going to be High Katoon. Until then, take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.